and thousands times to Srila Prabhupada. I bow down to all self-realized acharyas and from the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. I pray to lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis and request all to bless me so the right words come at right time and in the right spirit to glorify Krishna and to purification of myself. Please accept my humble obeisances and offer me your blessings. Also, I am not qualified to sit on this Vyasasana, but preach this one just because I took this service for my Guru Maharaj. So let's start with Vancha Kaltarubhesha Krupa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda. So today we are reading from the Bhagavatam, Canto 7.
Oh, no, Bhagavate.
No.
Oh, we do.
So, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritam.
Narayanam Namaskritam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraet.
Tato Jayamudiraet.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Jnananjana Salakaya.
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Chakshurunmilitam Yena.
Chakshurumilitam Yena.
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam.
Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam.
Sthapitam Yena Bhutale.
Sthapitam Yena Bhutale.
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam.
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam.
Dadati Swapadantikam.
Dadati Swapadantikam.
Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Raghuna Vishakha Visamscha Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. So today we are reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11. And Canto 7, the name is Science of God. So for the Chapter 11, the perfect society for social classes. And from that chapter, we are reading from Sloka 25 to 29. So we'll go through Sloka 7.11.25. Strinam cha pati devanam Strinam cha pati devanam Tuchrushranukulata Tadbandvesha anuvruttescha Nityam tadvrat dharma Nityam tadvrat dharanam.
We are reading from 25 to 29 the translations, and then we are focusing on verse 28.
Okay, no problem.
It's fine if that's not good.
Yeah. So, can we start with the translation, Daddy?
Yeah. What we do is we do it alternate. One person from here will read it, and the other person from here.
And the purport, we are going to read the purport for the all the slokas because that is something which is very understandable, right?
We'll read the purport of.
It's a very short purport.
Can we read it? Yes.
Yeah. So, translation.
Let's go with translation. Okay. So would you like to start?
The whole translation?
Yes.
To render service to the husband, to be always favorably disposed toward the husband, to be equally well disposed toward the husband's relatives and friends, and to follow the vows of the husband. These are the four principles to be followed by women described as chaste.
Perfect. It is very important for peaceful household or life that a woman follow the vow of her husband. Any disagreement with the husband's vow will disrupt family life. In this regard, Chanakya Pandita gives a very valuable instruction. Dampatyo kalavo nasti tatra shri swayam agata. When there are no fights between husband and wife, the goddess of fortune automatically comes to them. A woman's education should be conducted along the lines indicated in this verse. Basic principle for a chaste woman is to always be favorably disposed toward her husband. In Bhagavad Gita 1.40, it is said, Sri Su Dushta Varnesha Kayate Varna Shankara. If the women are polluted, there will be Varna Shankara population. In modern terms, the Varna Shankara are the hippies who do not follow any regulative injunctions. Another explanation is that when the population is Varna Shankara, no one can know who is on what platform. The Varnashrama system scientifically divides society into 4 Varnas and 4 ashramas, but in Varna Shankara society there are no such distinctions, and no one can know who is who. In such a society, no one can distinguish between a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Shudra. For peace and happiness in the material world, the Varnashrama institution must be introduced. The symptoms of one's activities must be defined, and one must be educated accordingly. Then spiritual advancement will automatically be possible.
So, next sloka's translation.
26, right?
26-27.
A chaste woman must dress nicely and decorate herself with golden ornaments for the pleasure of her husband. Always wearing clean and attractive garments, she should sweep and clean the household with water and other liquids so that the entire house is always pure and clean. She should collect the household paraphernalia and keep the house always aromatic with incense and flowers, and must be ready to execute the desires of her husband. Being modest and truthful, controlling her senses, and speaking in sweet words, a chaste woman should engage in the service of her husband with love, according to time and circumstances.
A chaste woman should not be greedy, but satisfied in all circumstances. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and should be fully conversant with religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully and should be very careful and always clean and pure. Thus, a chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of a husband who is not fallen.
According to the injunction of Yajnavalkya, an authority on religious principles, Ashubdeha Samparatiksho Hi Mahapatak Dushita. One is considered contaminated by the reactions of great sinful activities when one has not been purified according to the methods of Das Vidya Sanskar. In Bhagavad Gita, however, the Lord says, Namam Duskritan Mudha Prapadente Naradva. Those miscreants who do not surrender unto me are the lowest of mankind. The word Naradma means non-devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Ye bhaje se bad abhakta in char Anyone who is a devotee is sinless. One who is not a devotee, however, is the most fallen and condemned. It is recommended, therefore, that a chaste wife not associate with a fallen husband. A fallen husband is one who is addicted to the four principles of sinful activity, namely illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. Specifically, if one is not a soul surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is understood to be contaminated. Thus, a chaste woman is advised not to agree to serve such a husband. It is not that the chaste woman should be like a slave while her husband is Naradma, the lowest of men. Although the duties of a woman are different from those of a man, a chaste woman is not meant to serve a fallen husband. If her husband is fallen, it is recommended that she give up his association. Giving up the association of her husband does not mean, however, that a woman should marry again and thus indulge in prostitution. If a chaste woman unfortunately marries a husband who is fallen, she should live separately from him. Similarly, a husband can separate himself from a woman who is not chaste according to the description of Shastra. The conclusion is that a husband should be a pure Vaishnava, that a woman should be a chaste wife with all the symptoms described in this regard. Then both of them will be happy and make spiritual progress in Krishna consciousness.
The last one.
The woman who engages in the service of her husband, following strictly in the footsteps of the goddess of fortune, surely returns home, back to Godhead, with her devotee husband, and lives very happily in the Vaikuntha planets.
The faithfulness of the goddess of fortune is the ideal for a chaste woman. The Brahma Samhita says, Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrahma Sevamanyam. In the Vaikuntha planets, Lord Vishnu is worshipped by many thousands of goddesses of fortune in Golaka Vrindavana. Lord Krishna is worshipped by many thousands of gopis, all of whom are goddesses of fortune. Woman should serve her husband as faithfully as a goddess of fortune. A man should be an ideal servant of the Lord, and a woman should be an ideal wife by the goddess of fortune. Then both husband and wife will be so faithful and strong that acting together will return home, back to God, without a doubt. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya gives this opinion. Hari Rasmin Sita iti Srinama Bhartari Bhavana Sisyanam cha Guru Nityam Sundaranam Brahmanadishu Pratyanam Swamini Tatha Hari Bhava Udirita. The woman should think of her husband as a supreme Lord. Similarly, a disciple should think of the spiritual master as a supreme personality of Godhead. A Shudra should think of a Brahmana as a supreme personality of Godhead, and a servant should think of his master as a supreme personality of Godhead. In this way, all of them will automatically become devotees of the Lord. If I wait by thinking is this way, all of them will become Krishna conscious.
Jai. So, Hare Krishna. So, today we are going to the verses from 11.25 to 29. The main topic here, Prabhupada is emphasized on the chastity of the woman. So, I just want to ask one question, like, what is the meaning of chastity? Yeah?
Being loyal to husband, or being loyal to anything that you're committed to.
Okay. Anyone else?
Being devoted.
Being loyal to our Lord Krishna.
Exactly. Anybody else?
Sticking to the Shastric definition of a chaste woman.
Yeah. So, when it comes to chastity, when we go through this dictionary and all this, we see that the chastity for the woman, they generally mention that the chastity means that the woman who don't have the extramarital affair. But when it comes to our Krishna consciousness, we understand what Prabhupada mentioned for the chastity. In our Shastra, there is a very wide meaning of chastity, where the way everybody's mentioned that the chastity is not about only for the extramarital affair. It has a wide meaning than the extramarital affair, and for woman, chastity means loyal to her husband. And it is loyal is not about only the extramarital affair, it is by the mind, words, and with her body, without deviation at any point of at any time. So when it comes to the Shastras, the meaning is totally different than what we understand in the dictionary. And in Sloka 11.25, Prabhupada described the 4 principles for the woman who is chaste, right? So that 4 principles, that the first, she has to render service to the husband. And the second one, she has to be always favorably disposed towards to the husband. Third, Prabhupada mentioned that she has to be equally well disposed towards the husband's relatives and the friends. And the fourth one, she has to follow the vows of the husband. So we all are in the age where before even marriage, boys and girls, they have many choices and commitments. Before they commit for the lifelong relation. And in this age, chastity is very difficult to manage. So for peaceful householder life, it is very much important for the woman to follow the husband's. Whatever husband is doing or whatever his vows, woman should follow that vows. Now it comes to the vows of the husband. So when it comes to the husband's vow, what does that mean, the husband's vow?
To be getting the family delivered.
Okay.
To serve Lord.
Yes.
Yes, to surrender soul and body to God.
Yes. Anybody?
To follow Guru and Shastra.
Exactly. So the husband's vow, that means the husband's vows is to follow the Guru and Shastras. That is the first vow. And what happens is when husband is follow the Guru and Shastras, husband follows Guru, Guru follows Krishna. So everything, it is in the line, right? So when everything is in the line, the family is so peaceful and it is in the mode of goodness. So just following the husband's vow, the family is falling down in the Krishna consciousness so peacefully, and the children, whoever is born in that family, they are also very pious and Krishna conscious, right? So even in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mentioned, and Krishna says that adharma bibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu drustasu varneya jayate varna sankara. So even Krishna spoke 5,000 years back about what happened when there is no chastity in the woman. So when woman is not chaste, there is a Varna Shankar population. And what is the Varna Shankar population nowadays? That is the, Prabhupada mentioned, that is the hippies, who don't know about the Varnashram. And so it is very obvious that we all know in Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, all these yuga, people used to follow Varnashrama. Right? So we all know that there is a 4 ashramas in Varnashram system. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So the Brahmana, they generally provide the knowledge. Kshatriya, they are the warriors. Vaishnava, they are the more business people and they are farm communities. And the Shudras, these are all above the communities, right? So when we follow all, there is a peaceful life. and no fight between husband and wife, and the children grow in very peaceful environment, as we mentioned. So all these things, if just the one thing, when women become little subordinate and follow the husband, then all these things is very easy to manage in the family life. And the next sloka, 11.26 and 27, Prabhupada mentioned about the more qualities and principles of the chaste woman. So the translation we already read. So in that translation, Prabhupada mentioned that the woman is generally accustomed to dress herself nicely. So with fine garments and decorating ornaments, she sometimes wears the flowers in her hair. So why woman has to do all these things? Yeah?
To please her husband.
Yes. Why to please the husband?
Pleasing husband is pleasing Krishna.
Yes. Anybody? Yes?
To make sure the husband doesn't go wayward.
Right. So women generally dress themselves and please the husband, because when the husband go out, he has to fight with so many things. It is not about just he go and earn the money. He has to deal with so many people. So when the person come home, anybody love to be in the house which is pleasant, and the wife is soft spoken, beautiful, talking nicely, decorated her nicely. So once he come home, he forget everything, whatever done outside, right? And he feel more self as a home. And for that, if woman just dress nicely, speak nice words, all these things, he keep the husband in the home. Because of this, what happen is that all the anxious, like the husband, when he go out and he's more anxious about the business affairs, and he cannot discharge his family duties. But once the beautiful woman at home, nice, speaking very pleasantly, all these things is there, the husband, he love to come home. He won't deviate actually, right? So in household affair, the first restriction is beautiful wife. And all this, one enjoys his wife with two prominent sense organs. That is the tongue and the genitals. So when the wife speaks very sweetly, this is certainly an attraction for the man. And when she prepare the very palatable dishes, she cook nicely. And when she cook nicely, she satisfied the tongue of the husband. And when the tongue is satisfied, the other organs, it is also satisfied. Right? So that is the duty of the wife, to decorate herself for the husband. And even Prabhupada, he used to say that the girl who cooked very best, Prabhupada used to say that, the girl who cook nicely, I can find a boy for her. She don't need to find by herself. So even Prabhupada, he was so compassionate. He used to teach the girls how to wear the sari. Prabhupada teach the girls how to behave like the girls when he came in the Western countries. Because he was not so happy looking at the Western culture, especially the girls, when the girls are going out, mingling with the boys, and the way they behaved and all these things. So Prabhupada himself, he tried to teach the girls how to be chaste. Right? So Prabhupada is so merciful. Prabhupada is so merciful. So in next verse 11.25, Prabhupada was mentioned more about the chastity. But in this verse now, Prabhupada is not talking about only the girls. Now Prabhupada, he is not talking about only the woman, he is emphasizing on man's character also. So we already read the translation. So in translation, the last sentence is, okay, let's go to the translation one more time in this sloka. A chaste woman should not be greedy but satisfied in all circumstances. A chaste woman should not be greedy but satisfied in all circumstances. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and should be fully conversant with religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully and should be very careful and always clean and pure. Thus, a chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of a husband who is not fallen. So, the catching word here is husband who is not fallen. So now what is the meaning here for the fallen? Yes? Exactly. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself told clearly that Namam Duskrutino Moda Prapadyante Naradama. So, the person who is not surrendered to me at the lowest of mankind means he is considered himself as a fallen. Anyone who is devotee, there is no question of sinless person. But one who is not devotee and who is most fallen and condemned, it is recommended therefore that a chaste wife should not associate with a fallen husband. Does that mean that the chaste wife can do anything? The wife is chaste, husband is fallen. But it is saying in the Shastra that even the husband is fallen, chaste wife can stay away from that fallen husband. Doesn't mean that she has to go out and do other business, marrying again. Right? So they are more emphasizing that the wife should not be the slave for the fallen husband. She can stay away from the husband. She can do her Krishna consciousness very nicely and peacefully. And she should not, or she don't need to serve the fallen husband. So,
I have a question.
yes.
Why second marriage is not an option for a woman? Since we can see in the Shastras too, a man can marry as many women as he can.
Yeah, we will come for the same thing for the next thing. Yeah. So, the word Dharma Patni, we generally use the word Dharma Patni. So, Dharma Patni means she is the chaste wife. And the chaste wife, that means that the woman has no connection with any man before the marriage. So what happened in once the woman give a freedom to mingle with all kinds of men in her youth, what will happen? Generally, everybody knows, like Prabhupada quoted so many times, like the women are like the butter and the men are like the fire. So what happens is generally when women, they go close to man, it is like the butter and fire. And the butter lose his character, originality. That means that girls lose the chastity. And in this age, it is very common because we are more focusing on the woman empowerment. we think that, okay, woman is equal to the man, and woman can go out, woman can do so many things. Yes, woman can do so many wonders. But Prabhupada always mentioned that woman can make so many wonders even though if she can stay home. She can take the household affairs, take care of the children, take care of the relations, take care of the husband nicely. So it is not about that the girl, when she go out, then only she can do the wonders. So the woman, there is so many dangerous situation when the woman go out actually. Because of this Kali Yuga, we have to understand that it is not about the man, it is not about the woman. It is about the Maya which catches us and taking us from the Krishna consciousness. And in the last verse, 11.29, so it is says that they said that the woman who engages in the service of her husband, following strictly in the footstep of the goddess of fortune, surely returns home back to Godhead with her devotee husband and lives happily in the Vaikuntha planets. So the faithfulness of the goddess of fortune is the ideal for the chaste woman. And even it is mentioned in the Brahma Samhitas also that Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam. So in the Vaikuntha planet, Lord Vishnu is worshipped by many thousands of goddess of fortune, and in Goloka Vrindavan, Lord Krishna is worshipped by many thousands of gopis, all of whom are goddess of fortune. So even they said that the chaste woman will never accept any man other than her husband, even if there will be someone equally as handsome and qualified. So on the chastity, Prabhupada is putting so much emphasis. And the woman is chaste, the house is like Goloka Vrindavan, and the children are so happy in this one. Even for that, Sri Madhvacharya gives this his opinion that woman should think of her husband as a supreme lord. So how we should think the husband is a supreme lord is like, he gave the examples, like similarly the way the disciple should think of the spiritual master. And the Shudra should think the Brahmana as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and servant should think of his master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, all of them will automatically become devotee of the Lord. So one person thinks that he is the Supreme, the other person says he is the Supreme. So we all feel that, okay, it is like in the stage where we all feel that one person is the Supreme than the another one. So now there is a big question. So why only women need to be chaste? Why don't we ask man to be chaste as well? When both have the equal contribution in reproduction, and we generally say that man and woman are equal, then both should be chaste. Then why only women need to be chaste? We emphasize on the woman. Why most?
I think Srila Prabhupada, in the purports to the first canto, he's explaining that women, like, their responsibility is to be chaste, but a man, his responsibility is to control his senses. So it's, so that's what I remember. So chastity, like that term is used for women, but for men, the responsibility they carry is that they need to control their senses.
Exactly. See, this is the Kali Yuga, and there is no pure love. The pure love is only for the Krishna. So when woman marrying to the man, she generally look at her outlook and how much he earned. So where is the true love at this time? It is a conditioned love. And when the woman selected the man, she looked at her education, her how much he earned, all these things, right? And even the girls also looking for the handsome man. So what will happen when these things, when we get married, all these things is there, but slowly it fades. So what is happening is, if they are not chaste to each other, this thing fades away and it turns into divorce. Or sometimes it's just the, like, they don't do their duties properly because they are not finding what they're really looking for. So there is no pure love in this Kali Yuga. So there is no Lord Rama here, or no Goddess Sita. Lord Rama, who is the one, like, he's a Ek Patni Vrata, right? So neither there is a Sita who is giving the Agni Pariksha. So so Sita Mata gave the Agni Pariksha for her chastity. If I ask anybody here, and any girls in this age, would she give the Agni Pariksha like the Sita Mata? No. Right? So even in the olden days, women were restricted even to shake the hands with the men, because they are thinking that even touching the man, she would not chaste. And they consider this one as a panigrahan. Panigrahan means it's like the marriage. This is in the olden age situation, right? So nowadays what is happening is, women are going out, shaking hands, walking and working with the man, all these things. If you really understand the meaning of the chaste, this is not what chaste means. In nowadays, that is what Prabhupada mentioned. And what happened is, like, women were not educated in olden days. So in olden days, women were more dependent on the husband, father, or the son. And at that time, actually, there was a scarcity of the man, because the man, there is so many men, they take the vow for the brahmacharya. But women need the protection. So at that time, men are allowed to marry more than one wife in olden days. That was Prabhupada said. Men are allowed to marry more than one woman, but woman has to be chaste. Even in our Shastra, it is quoted that there is a, like, as we mentioned before, that the woman, she is the force for the husband. Whatever husband is doing, woman is the force behind that. And to doing the duties for the Kshatriyas. So the Kshatriya are allowed to have more than one wife. So the wife give them more support. So Kshatriya can go out and fight for the other communities. So we all know about the Kapil Dev Maharaj. He taught his mother about the self-realization. And when Kardam Muni left her home to the jungle to practice the tapasya. So this is all coming from the Satyuga to Dwapar Yuga to Treta Yuga to Kali Yuga. So slowly, everything is fading up. before there is a Sati Sahagaman. So the meaning of Sati Sahagaman is that when the husband died, woman is also go to the same fire with the husband. And generally now for the woman for the husband. And there is so many personalities in our scriptures where so many women, they are chaste and they did the wonders actually. Nowadays what is happening is that there is an advancement in science and the woman got empowered and there is an improvement in living condition. But when it comes to chastity of the woman, we lost it actually. So many women, we are not talking about the Krishna conscious women. In general, because there was a time when Chamaragni Muni, who is the father of the Parshuram, he ordered his son Parshuram to behead his mother. Why? The mother's name is Renuka. Because she did mental corruption thinking about some Gandharvas. So that was the time, and this is the another time where we all are corrupted one or other way. Even we like it, we don't like it. There is so many ads coming, there is so many things we are going out, we are looking. So when it comes to chastity according to Shastras, nobody is chaste in nowadays. So Draupadi married to the 5 husbands, and still she is considered as a pativrata or the chaste woman. Why?
She didn't do it out of her desire. Just like the situations kind of brought him into the kind of circumstances to get married with 5. I mean, she got married with Arjun only, and then just to satisfy the vow, just to satisfy the husband's vow and all, things kind of kept on getting complicated.
Yes.
So Draupadi in her previous life asked Lord Shiva for a husband, and she asked him, she was so eager to get that desire fulfilled, so she asked Lord Shiva 5 times. So Lord Shiva had, because he's asked for 5 times, he will get 5 husbands. And so in the Mahabharata, when all this was happening, she was like everyone was reluctant, like hesitant to have Draupadi marry all the 5 Pandavas, but I think Vyasadeva came to confirm that this is what happened. And so because she was following the instructions of Vyasadeva and the sages, whatever she did was protected. So because she was following.
Yes, and Draupadi, she got a boon from Lord Shiva that she turns every morning a kanya. That means the unmarried girl.
Oh, right.
I have a question here. Gandhari's husband, Dhritarashtra, he was not a kind of devotee, kind of fallen man we can say, who was not on an ethical path. Still Gandhari was there with him. Would she be considered a chaste woman? Mandodari was with Ravana, Ravana was not a devotee at all.
Yes.
He did everything wrong, but still Mandodari is considered one of those chaste women.
Yes.
So, why is it so?
So when it comes to Gandhari, she considered a chaste woman because she got the blessings from the Lord itself. Right? She had that blessings, Gandhari had that blessings that even there is a one story that before going to the war, Duryodhana want to get that power, but that power only he got if he go naked in front of the mother. But Krishna was so tricky, and he understand if Duryodhana got that power, then it is going to be difficult for Pandavas to win the war. So he came in between when he was supposed to go naked to his mother. And he laughed at Duryodhana. Are you shameless? Why you are going to your mother naked? And he covered his bottom part. So many stories there in the past where we understand that all the women, they are chaste and they got the power directly from the Lord.
I have a question then. Whatever we have read so far, we've been trying to understand, like purity is being judged by body, and somewhere where sometimes a prostitute could be a pure devotee as well. The heart is clean. So why everything is on bodily realm? Seeing other person, touching other person, meeting them, and even if you are not kind of emotionally satisfied with your partner, like was mentioned, she can't even get married again. And isn't it just like completely life full of adjustments, complications, limitations? It's like we're in a prison or in a cage.
Yes. So it is not about the bodily conception, but when it comes to emotions, we know that like the chastity doesn't mean the only bodily. Chastity means like mansa vacha karmana, with mind, body and soul. So when you come close, it's like the butter and fire, as I mentioned, and the Maya is always around us. So it catches the man and woman in their attraction, and we go away from the Krishna consciousness. So that's why we are more emphasizing on the chastity of a man as well as the woman. Right? So we were talking about the Draupadi. So Draupadi, we consider is in the Panch Kanyas. Does anybody know about that Panch Kanyas? Yeah.
Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, and Mandodari.
Yes. So all these ladies, they had bad marks on marrying more than one man, actually. They are considered sin-free and purest and chaste. All these. So now we have to understand why they consider this chaste, even though they are marrying more than one husband. So, does anyone know about Sati Ansuya? Yeah? Sati Yeah, Sati Ansuya? Do you know the story?
It's like he brought his husband back from
Savitri said
No, that is Savitri. I'm talking about Ansuya, Sati Ansuya.
Could you please give me the name?
Yes. So it is the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh.
Yeah, so when Rama is going after till three Rakshasas by the orders of Vishwamitra Maharshi. So like they are going to Janakapuri. So while going in midway, so Vishwamitra Maharshi asked Lord Ram to touch the stone.
That is Ahalya.
You know.
That is Ahalya.
Who makes all the three gods into chairs so she can serve nakedly. Like, she receives some instructions like to serve naked to all the three gods, like Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So with her powers, like she make everyone to chill. Small kids like infants, and she serve like.
Yeah. So Sati Ansuya, she's a very chaste lady. And one time, all three Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they wanted to do her pariksha. So they all went and they said that, okay, we want to see the chastity of this woman. And she asked her to serve them naked. Of course, Sati Ansuya has so much power. So when they went there, generally it is in our culture that whoever comes to our home, we generally don't let them go. Like we gave them the bhiksha, and they all three came for the bhiksha. And when they came and they give this kind of condition, Sati Ansuya understand that there is something wrong here. So she used her power of chastity and she made the Brahma Vishnu Mahesh in a small child. Very small child, where as a mother, she went to them naked and she served them. So that is the power of the Sati. And Mata Sumati, does anybody know about the Sumati?
Yes. Sorry, no.
So Sumati was a chaste wife actually. And her husband, he was suffering from the leprosy. So one time it happens that her husband put a strange request that she should take him in a basket to the prostitute to fulfill his desire. Because he had leprosy, she had no other choice than put him in the basket and took him to the prostitution. While taking him from one place to the prostitute's place, there was happened that the sage Mandavya, he was there, and by mistake his leg touched to that sage, and sage cursed him for the death. But Mother Sumati, she is so chaste and so powerful that she went to each and every demigods. And actually the curse was the husband will die before, I guess it's before the sunrise. So that mother has so much power that she even stopped the sun to the rise, and she survived her husband. Yes.
But in the Bhagavatam purport it says that like if the man is the ideal servant, then the woman should be the ideal wife. Like if one is fallen, then the other can't do it properly. So if this man had leprosy and he wanted to go to a prostitute, it shows that he didn't really have full control over his senses. So by her serving him, doesn't that also make her fallen?
There is some controversial characters in our scriptures. There is a other also there that we are going to come one after another. So we understand it is not about everything is the what we are looking as in the Shastras. But there is some controversial characters also there. Okay, so we all know about even the Tulsi Maharani. She is chaste. These all are the examples of the chaste woman in our scriptures. So there is a Tulsi Maharani. We all know the story about the Tulsi Maharani, that even she has that powers to curse the Vishnu. And So I guess the time is little bit over 8:37. So we all have some expectation here and there in those days, but we all know about the story of the Halya and the story of the Tara. We all know about all these stories about Panchkanyas. They all are the satis, and they all chaste women. So, as we understand, there is nothing like the woman and man. When it comes to chastity, we should understand there is nothing like the man and woman. I heard in one of the class that when we look at the outer beauty, we should consider each other as a soul only. When it comes to outer beauty, we understand it is not more than stool and the urine. You look the very beautiful girl. Just think about that girl has a diarrhea. Sorry to give this example, but think about that. Her all beauty will go. What does that mean? That is the temporary. The outer beauty. If you remove the skin, do you think so people love us?
No.
People love us?
No.
All members will complain.
So, if we follow all these principles, what Prabhupada is mentioning for the chaste woman, and of course for the man also, then I guess the society, it become more peaceful. And as a householder, we all live in a place where everybody enjoys everybody, and we can do our Krishna consciousness very peacefully. Hope I just over little 10 minutes, but if you have any questions.
Anyone has any questions? Would like to go and ask?
Yeah, we can go and order prasadam, and if anyone has questions, they can come and personally ask.
No problem. It's okay. I guess it's 10 minutes over, right? Sorry.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.